want to spend the next segment talking about this, but let me set it up. I think one of the problems is that we talk about emotional intelligence and self-awareness, and we go into such depth in it, but the more successful you are, the actually harder it is to have self-awareness, because what you like doing is you like starting to the smell of your own farts. And I know that, but it's a graphic statement, but when you start thinking you're so good, and you have to an extent be in business, it's hard to really prospectively look at things, and I think that's where a lot of the flaw is. So I think we're going to talk the next segment about scaling, about emotional intelligence, about your self-awareness that allows you to realize that you need help. But what do you think the biggest blockade is? If you had to pick one thing, obviously autopilot, but that stops people from pushing forward. Is it just complacency with where they are? Is it just they close the circle so they don't have any confidants that are telling them to grow? What do you think the biggest factor in that complacency is?
Army of one. I am my own solution. I see it all the time. I will not mention the specific name of the company, but they're the largest chicken retail restaurant chain in the country. And they are some of the best at this. In fact, the owners, the franchisees of those restaurants, if they are in the store every day of the week, they're not successful. The most successful ones are rarely ever there because they have duplicated themselves. They've found a way to get a general manager in there that is as good, if not better than them at running the business. And I think that's the solution. I believe that's the solution, is you've got to delegate is the simple way of putting it. But nowadays, you can't really find enough people to delegate to. You have to learn to coach them up.
Yeah.
So the business owner of today has to bring someone in and realize they either need to hire someone to coach them leadership skills or coach them themselves. Apprentice them. We used to have apprentices.
Yeah. But in most cases, and especially if this is their first business, that's what they did. They became the business. They ran the business, and they don't know how to do something differently, correct?
That's their wheelhouse. They're good at it, or they wouldn't have gotten to where they are. But the hardest lesson to learn is, it's like having children. You know, you have to treat them one way when they're infants, another way when they're young, another way when they're teenagers, and then an entirely different way when they're adults. And if you don't evolve, and that's really what a business owner needs to do, you're going to be stuck.
Yeah.
Do you ever see instances where a business owner realizes they need someone, they probably can't do it, and they actually bring someone in to be that operational arm, and they do what they do?